All right. This is the Peak Millennials Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Auntie Collins. You might be familiar with what I've done in the sphere. Uh, but I have a guest, or a guest, a new person has entered the chat. It is our
Yes.
co host, Natalie. Natalie,
Hello, hello.
Natalie and I go way back. We go way
Mm,
back to our own high school days, our own peak millennial experience.
Yep. Our
So,
millennial life.
uh, Natalie, tell us
Yeah.
about yourself. This is episode one,
Episode
back to
one, episode
school.
one. Hooray. Well, to be very fair, I am totally a teenager stuck in my 30s. Somehow woke up, I was 16, and then now I am not. I am 37. I'm beautiful 37, super happy, but definitely don't feel it. I loved and still do, and I think Collins and I agree. Like, millennial times were so amazing. They had their flaws, but they were so cool. Um, I am a
Agree.
mom of two. Um, I like coincidentally, my older daughter goes to our same high school. And it is
That's
so
insane.
crazy.
That's
Her favorite, I
insane.
mean, like, I think I told you, but one of her favorite things is to look through like our yearbooks and like,
No.
yes, she sends me like screenshots. She's like, "Mom, is this you?" I'm like, yes, that's me. And then my youngest just started kindergarten this week, which kind of fits right into our back to school theme. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of a weird, crazy thing, but yeah.
Well, for those who don't know, and for those listening, my name is Auntie Collins. I don't have any children. My children are for children. However, I have plenty of
Totally
nieces and
valid.
nephews that tell me
No.
the Riz. I don't know
Oh, she
any.
for sure today we were on our way to Costco and my older one I was just like dropping random things that I were like, ooh, cool slang. And she was like, "Mom, that's not what people say." And I was like, yes.
Yeah, it
Yes, it is
is.
what they say. She's like, "No, Mom, like don't say stuff like that." And I was like, "I'm just saying this to get a rise out of you. I'm
Mhm.
not saying it to like because I truly think that this is what kids say."
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
but
I don't have kids. You have kids, but a universal experience for us is living in the 90s and early 2000s, having
yep.
a childhood. It is a very different time than what it is now in
Lord, yes.
2025. We're recording this in the beginning of September, so we just went through our back to school. I didn't send anyone to school. You're sending someone to school, but this is the Peak Millennials Podcast. And I gotta ask, what is Peak Millennial about back to school?
Let's see. What was it? I mean, so I was super when we went back to school, or when I would go back to school, I even to this day am such a maximalist. So we had like when we went to high school, we were given folders. And I know that
We did a poll. So
we did a
if you're listening
poll.
to this, go follow
Yes.
us over on
Yes.
Instagram, Peak Millennials Pod. We'll put it in the show notes. We'll put it everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
are doing polls all the time because we want
Yeah.
to know what your lived experience. We grew up
Yes.
in the what are they called? The upper left of the United States. So in the
Yes.
Pacific Northwest, outside of Seattle, there is this little kind of conservative county, and
Good
in that
old
northern
conservative.
region, there's a Native American reservation. There are a bunch of uh,
I
I,
might died.
I want to say hippies,
Yeah, a lot.
lots of hippies, lots of military people, just all the smorgasbord of different kinds of people lived in
Yep.
our area. And there were also people that well, they didn't go to our school. They were at the rival school that lived on a separate island, and they
Yep.
were more hoity-toity, and we were more down to earth, real. We have these relatable experiences that anyone in anywhere USA can relate to.
Totally,
Uh,
totally.
so I didn't go to real school because I was homeschooled until fifth grade. And then I went
Yep.
to an elementary that had uniforms.
Ooh, no thanks.
And it's a public school, but I had uniforms, and that was apparently a very lived experience for a lot of people, was the choosing of the uniforms, the
I'm
things that kids would wear in fifth and sixth grade.
I feel like in the Pacific Northwest, it's not, unless it's a private school, which, like where we live now,
Hmm.
it's more common for private schools or like charter schools to have
Hmm.
uniforms. But it's more popular, I would say, like in southern states or more conservative states. I think like Utah has more
Yeah.
uniform based stuff, but we definitely had yeah, there was only one school I think that I know of that I think it was your excuse me, your middle school that had uniforms. But mine didn't. But I do remember that like right after middle school, the middle school that I went to was across the street from our high school.
Hmm.
And when I went there, it had a very just like a pretty general name. Junior, I was like blah 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 junior high.
Yeah.
And when I left, they changed it to a different name and changed junior high to middle school, and so it made it just really funny sounding as like a teenager. You're like, I go to this, blah blah blah, and it was, I mean, like, I don't care to. I mean, like, we could share. It doesn't really
I
matter.
mean, PMS,
Yeah,
KMS, like,
PMS came out, yeah. So it went from PJH, which just seemed like a normal
yeah.
PJ school, and they changed it to PMS, which like to any teenager, boy or girl, it was just so funny. I was like, who signed that? Who thought that that was like the thing to do?
And
But,
that's like
it
middle school
happened.
humor, is like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
French jokes.
yeah.
PMS, period.
Especially because like they have like a drill team or like a cheer squad for the middle school, and it's like
Yeah.
bold right across like the front of their uniform, like PMS. Like, why would you do that? Um, but I mean, like for me, going to going to school during that time because it was what the early 2000s, literally
Yeah.
like I think it was 2000. We graduated in '06, so we went from 2001 or 2000 to 2006. And so that was like literally right at the beginning of that millennial era where
Hmm.
I still remember to this day, like, what was that called? Where they thought everything was going to shut down on
Oh,
New
Y2K.
Year's. Y2K. That
Yeah.
was like, and I remember being, I think I was what, 12 years old, 11 or 12 years old. And there was that Jennifer Lopez song that came out. I was like, only for tonight. And I was like, the world's shutting down, but here I am dancing and like thinking about who like my elementary or junior high crush was at the time, and I was like, if only they knew.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, a lot of the pop culture that we endured in the 2000s
yeah,
was the affect of Y2K, of for some reason, like, these are smart people that were like, our computers, they don't know how to go to the 2000s, so everything is going to shut down, stock market's going to crash, the world is burning.
yeah.
Which, to think of that now, is like,
What?
are you crazy?
But at the time when you're only 12, and
Right.
you're watching TRL, and
Fed. That
that's
was
the
our brain.
song. Like,
Hmm.
I have to tell the love of, and it's like, oh my goodness, you're crazy. The amount of like, I was as a younger version of myself, I was so influenced by music.
Hmm.
Like, music influenced everything. I was like, oh, if I make this mixtape to play on the bus,
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna make sure that my crush knows that I
We should
like
do a
them.
whole episode on like
Yes.
mixtapes.
Oh my
And
gosh, yes,
oh my
please.
gosh.
Burn CDs.
Then now that's what I call music.
Oh no. You know that's up to like 100 now, right?
No, they should have
Yes.
stopped. Put it out to
No,
pasture.
they still no, it's still going. Every time, like if I see it in the store, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember the first one. Now.
Yeah,
Now that yeah, I can't. I'm like,
I
no,
remember.
I will not.
But what were
Anyways.
your school traditions? Like when you were going to school, middle school, high school, what were your peak millennial kind of traditions?
Going to the mall was my
Malls. So
the mall.
I did ask people over on Instagram, where did you
Yes.
shop at the mall?
Yes, yes, yes.
And or where did you shop for clothes to go back to school? My birthday coincides usually with back to school, so all of my birthday presents were back to school things, so backpacks, like notebooks, papers, trapper keepers, like everything.
Yes.
And let's see.
Tell me those results. I know that I definitely responded because I was
Yeah.
like, I need to add this in too.
So a lot of people said Walmart, but
What?
we didn't have like a Walmart in our town until like
No.
after we graduated high school, which is
Yeah, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
crazy.
The closest one that we had was like in a different city. Like
Like
in a different city
30-40
completely.
minutes away.
Yeah. And I mean, like the mall,
Not
our
in a
mall.
nice spot either.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
Um, but I would go. So every summer, my sisters and I, our family would go and spend time with my grandparents, and they lived in California. So we spent a lot of time there. But when we came up, we had like a clump of time where my mom would take us down to our local mall and we shopped at Mervin's when it was Mervin's.
Mm.
I don't know if anyone listening would remember like Lamont's because it used to be a Lamont's and then it was a Mervin's.
Oh my god.
Um, and we would shop at J.C. Penney. Um, and we'd always stock up on Bath and Body Works because it was
Yes.
always on sale right before back to school and you
Mhm.
needed to get your spray.
What was your scent?
Um, Cucumber melon was my scent.
I was a warm vanilla sugar, and I still am.
I cannot. I actually, funny enough, okay, because we're like in my room.
Yeah,
They released Cucumber Melon this summer for like they
like
did
a
like a
nostalgia
small
thing.
release. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They released some older scents. And my husband went and got me a bottle. So I actually have Cucumber Melon on my shelf.
Oh
And
my god, I feel like I can
I
smell
love
it.
it. Yeah, it's so good. I was a cucumber melon girly. And then when I was feeling mature, I got the what is it? It was a floral scent. Not freesia, but it was something else. But it's like smells like Hawaii to me.
Oh.
And I'll think about it and I'll text you.
I just
Um,
I just remember girls after like volleyball practice would spray like the um peonies one or whatever,
oh yeah,
the
the peony one was one of my favorites
and
too.
like it smells great, but when it's like half empty bottled in the locker room with the smell of like the mildew and the showers and the all everything, it was like I have a headache now. What is going on? But
No,
there we
I mean like that also, but if we're going like further, like high school, so junior high was cucumber melon, and then the other floral one I can't remember. Um, but high school was Love Spell.
Oh,
I
see,
was
high
such a
school was when
slut
we
for
could
high.
finally go
Yeah.
to Victoria's Secret.
Yes. And that's kind of yeah, that's jumping around a little bit. But yeah, so we would go to usually go to Mervin's, usually JC Penney's, because like just for those listening, I don't know if we're gonna do video or not, but like whatever. I'm not I was not a small girly in my junior or middle school days. Like
Hmm.
now I'm like, oh, that wasn't that I'm like I wasn't that big, but in the time, yeah, they didn't have any options at all. It was like you could go to Catherine's or to Lane Bryant if you were larger than a size
Yeah.
12. And so we did what we could with what we had. And I always laugh now because there's so many options, but then like there just wasn't. So the only thing that I could really get that was like cool during that time was my shoes.
Ooh, and where did
So
you get your shoes? BOGO, anyone?
I yeah, no journeys. I mean, but
Ooh,
we would get, usually it was Payless. But
yeah.
like if my parents were feeling like festive or feisty, then we would be able to go to Journeys because they always had like a buy one, get one,
Always a
right?
buy one, get one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we did a buy one, get one. What about you? Where did you go? What was your shoe place?
So, because my dad was in the Navy, a lot of our shopping experience was at the Navy Exchange. So if you've been on
Oh.
a base, you know that like there's a Navy Exchange, which is like
Hmm.
um no sales tax. There's like a deals on deals. I don't know. I don't know how it works
Wow.
because I was literally a child. But my grandmother would always take me to J.C. Penney's because she had a
Hmm.
Penny's card, and that was her gift to me. And I specifically remember on the one day that we could wear, because I think like Fridays or every other Friday were like casual dress day.
Yeah.
I wore these pants. Now everything was flare legged. I
Yes.
loved a flare. I love it when it's tight on my leg and it would go out as far as possible. But they had spray glitter on them.
What? I never got spray glitter
And
pants.
I loved
Jealous.
anything that had glitter on it. I loved anything that had camo. I loved a camo backpack. I loved a camo whatever. And I got this shirt from Mudd, Mudd,
Yes, yes, yes.
and it was a star with blue camo in like the background of the star. And it
Mm-hmm.
said Mud on the cross. And I wore, they were very hip huggers. They were very low rise, like so low rise that like
Yes.
I like you're always like pulling up
Yes.
your pants as you're walking. And I would
Yes.
always break the belt loops of my pants like within like
Hmm.
the first couple weeks of me wearing them. And then you would just have one belt loop that isn't attached. But I remember the first day of school I wore, or the first casual day, whatever, I wore those bell bottoms.
Hmm.
And as I like got up from my plastic chair, there was just glitter everywhere. And my teacher said, "We are not wearing those pants anymore." And I was like, "No, my grandma bought these pants for me. I love them."
Did
But
they like when you
yeah.
washed them though? Did they get glitter inside of like your dryer? Did everything get covered in glitter?
So my mom didn't really believe in dryers.
Okay, European
So
style.
when you wash them, yeah, it like came out. Um, but I always hung them up.
Mm.
But as they got washed, the glitter lessened and lessened. And I was always going to like the Dollar Tree to get the glitter hairspray to like add more glitter on them. Like
No!
I was
Oh
one of
God,
those
I love that.
kids like I don't know what it was about the early 2000s, but it was like the more glitter, the better. Like our
Yes.
eyeshadows had glitter in them, our
Glitter.
lotions had glitter in
Glitter.
them,
Everything.
everything,
Roll on
hair things.
glitter.
I
Glitter.
I had the roll-on glitter from Claire's that was orange creamsicle,
Okay.
but it had like an orange tint to it.
Oh
But
no.
I put it all over my body, all over my face, and it was like
Ah!
like close to like back to school. So like my teacher was like, "Oh, do you have a sunburn?" No, I don't have a sunburn. This is fashion. What are you talking about?
That makes me think of, did you ever watch Bridget Jones? Like Bridget Jones'
Yes.
Diary, where she's like doing her
Yes.
makeup in the cab, and then she shows up to like this super fancy dinner, and he's like, "Are you sure you don't need to use the restroom?" And she's like, "No, I look fine." And then she like looks at herself, and it's like just the blush. Oh, my cat. Oh, wait, kitty.
Oh, kitty.
My kitty. Yeah, she's here
Um,
with me too.
but yeah, I
I miss
remember
her
in middle
though.
school we were not allowed to wear makeup, but for some
Mm-hmm.
reason I was allowed to wear glitter. But it was like the back to school, like on in high school, that was like on top of getting new clothes, we would always get a haircut, but I would always get like a back to school makeup. And
Oh
because my mom
yes.
worked for Avon, I got
Ooh.
so many cool things, but nobody showed me how to do makeup. So I remember going to high school and just like putting eyeshadow like all the way up to my brow bone. Like there was no such thing as a brow pencil. We were plucking the ever living shit out of our eyebrows. Like our foundation was not blended in. It
No,
it stopped
no.
here.
It
Full
was
chin
there was a
strap.
hard line.
Hmm.
I remember so you could wear makeup at my junior high. But I
Hmm.
remember that I was obsessed with this frosty blue eyeliner. It was one of those thick, like when
Oh
Maybelline did like the big pencils, and it was
yes.
frosty blue eyeshadow. But I didn't wear mascara, I don't think, or the only mascara I wore was like the Maybelline pink and green, like
Oh, the
the
pink and
Great
green one.
Lash. Yeah,
Yeah.
the the original. And so I would wear that with the little sad mascara. And then I remember it was it Maybelline or is it L'Oreal in the cloud pot, the foundation, the
Oh, that
mousse,
Dream Matte Mousse. Yeah.
dream that mousse. But I remember that I would have that and it would just be like a hard line. And I was just like the blue, and I
Yeah.
have a school photo. So like back to like the clothes thing, like because of the way that like I also had flare jeans, but I didn't love them because in not a negative way, like this is just like the description of how my body is built. Like the bottom half of my body is built like a tree trunk. Like I've always had very strong, thick legs. Like I just am built like a tree trunk. And so
Right.
finding jeans that like fit me was always
Hmm.
really hard. But I remember that my mom always wanted me to dress, and I laugh because I see videos like this all the time, and my mom would always pick me out. Like she'd be like, "Oh my gosh, this outfit would be so flattering on you." And now that I
Oh,
look at it, I my mom was dressing me like I was going in for like a
a
freaking
job
job.
interview.
A job interview. She had me wearing like the two-piece like sweater
Yeah.
sets where it would be like a sweater, like sleeveless
Hmm.
sweater shirt with a cardigan over the top. And I was like, "Oh, this is so cute." And then I would get to school and everyone's wearing like American Eagle, like Henleys. And I'm wearing like my Nana's fucking suit. Sorry, my Nana's suit. And I'm like, I am not cool with my blue eyeliner. Like there's that for you. But I remember that my mom had found me because like you could sometimes find stuff. I think
Hmm.
but at that time I think I was like a size 13 or 15. And it was
Hmm.
like the skins were always really slim, but sometimes you could find something at like Ross or TJ Maxx.
Everything went up
But
to like 10, and then
yeah,
everything beyond the
Stop.
9,
Yeah,
nothing.
nothing. It was it was absolutely insane. So my mom had found me a pair of Jordache jeans.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Mom, I have to have these. She's like, do they even fit you? And I was like, they totally do. And they were flares, and they
Mm-hmm.
zipped up the side. No
Oh,
pockets, no belt loops, no
yeah.
nothing. They
No,
zipped up the
never
sides.
pockets.
Never pocket, no nothing. And I was like, Mom, I have to have these. And she was like, I don't know. And then I put them on, and I think she was just like, fine, whatever, not a big deal. Can I tell you how many times I zipped up my hips into these pants? Because you're like, huh, zip. And then it would end up, you'd zip yourself in, and then you'd get your skin caught in the zipper.
Yeah.
Like, I
And
have
once you
never.
cut your skin, like, that's it.
Mess. Yeah,
Nope.
mess. But I think that since now I'm going through like teenage clothes shopping, like with my
Mm-hmm.
older one, like it's so funny because you see, I catch myself in my mind thinking of those same things like, oh, this would be so flattering. And then I'm like, I'll never say that.
No, 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 no,
Mhm.
no. So
And so I have to
I
cut
just
my
think
like
of
external dialogue
shows
off.
like What Not to Wear was on, and they
Yes.
were always like, this isn't flattering for this and the woo. And my mom
Yeah.
was always dealing with my body shape, which my body
Hmm.
shape, I'm the opposite of you, where I was so top heavy, but I don't have anything going on down here. So while I loved an overall, because it don't matter where your legs go, you just put the bib on, and everything was a stripe. Loved a striper, long sleeve, short sleeved. Loved the combo of the long sleeve, putting on a short sleeve on top.
Yes.
Loved all of that until I went to my middle school, where you had a dress code. The dress code specifically said no overalls. So
No.
that's when, like, you're trying to figure out your body, all
Hmm.
the things, trying to be
Yeah.
cool. My parents, because I was going to a private school, did not have the money, so my grandmother is buying my clothes, and I'm having to like put my body shape into clothes that like it was like Heron chic, right? So
Hmm.
no hips, no butt, no tummy, no boobs, like, and my body did not fit any of that.
No.
But I found a way to shimmy and shake into things, and I loved wearing pants. But my
Hmm.
thing, because I am almost 6 feet tall now, and I was going through growth spurts, like they were going out of style. Everything was high waters on me,
Yes.
and eventually I just said, you know what? 8th grade, guess what I did? Everything was capri pants.
Capri pants.
I
See,
remember 8th grade
yeah.
shopping. I bought the gaucho pants, the
God, I
capri
love
pants.
gaucho pants.
Oh, they're so
I
comfortable.
loved them so much. See, but I have the opposite problem as you in that I am only 5'6". So
You say only
every
5'6". That's
no,
not
no, no, no,
short.
no. I'll correct that with I am only 5'6", but I am top tall and my
Yeah,
legs are not long.
that's
So like
true. That's
I
true.
have a very long torso and shorter legs. So like as it my inseam is only like a 29 or a 30. So like not to say like I'm like oddly proportioned, but my
Hmm.
legs are not very long. So during the era of us where it was flare leg jeans,
Right.
my I hated them because I my legs were short and they dragged on the ground and it made me want to poke out all of my eyes. Because I hated
Poke
when
out
my
all of
parents,
your eyes.
yeah. Oh, speaking of that, because I didn't think glasses were cool, I didn't wear glasses my entire school career. And I have, like, my eyesight is not good. I was blind all of school. Like,
Oh
I'm,
my
what is
gosh.
that? Nearsight? No, I'm farsighted. So, like, no, near, whatever it is. I can't see far away, but I could see, like, up close
Whatever
and
it
everything
is.
is blurry. So, like, I didn't wear glasses up until after high school because I was like, none of the cool kids wear glasses. I don't want to
Right.
be not cool.
Mm. And
Idiot.
obviously, we lived in the dark ages where contacts were like the rich people thing.
I had no
Oh.
contact. Yeah, but I would wear my glasses at home.
Mhm.
Um, but again, you didn't have like a lot of options for glasses,
Yeah.
and so you were kind of just stuck with like, and no hate on it, but all glasses were basically just like gender neutral on like more on the masculine scope of gender
Yeah.
neutral than anything. So you didn't have, it was either old lady or boy glasses. So you didn't
Yeah.
really have a lot of like options. And so I was like, I'm not wearing these at school. And now I'm like, I need to put my glasses on immediately or I can't see anything.
So
Anyways,
speaking of cool things,
yeah.
I remember going back to school,
Mm-mm.
collages, cutting out all of your favorite teen stars and like Teen Bop or like Teen Vogue or
Yeah.
Teen People or any of the tabloids, cutting out
Yeah.
your favorite celebrities. You use a glue stick on like a thick whatever. And then after everything, I remember I would do like like some sort of like, oh no, rubber cement on top.
Mod Podge.
Yeah,
Mod
Mod
Podge on
Podge.
top.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Just
Yep,
to
yep,
make
yep.
sure that it didn't start curling or coming out. And like the cool people would like decorate their lockers with all of their collages.
Yeah.
People would cut out, well, if you could afford Abercrombie, like the Abercrombie models, which I could never.
I'm rolling
I
my
was
eyes
also
right
too
now.
big for the Abercrombie.
It's not
But
for me, like I didn't even I didn't even know that stuff existed because we didn't go like the closest mall that
yeah,
had those stores where it was either in like Seattle
yeah,
or
Seattle had a
in
mall or in
Tacoma.
like Tacoma,
Yeah. So those were
which
the
like
two
not
we didn't
accessible for us.
we didn't go. I didn't,
Hour
yeah.
plus.
It wasn't until
None
I
of us drove.
was, yeah, it was really far away. We didn't go there. So I didn't
Right.
really even know those things existed until middle school and high school when people were like, look at my Abercrombie, look at my Hollister, because we didn't even have a Hollister at that time in our mall
Mm-hmm.
until like mid high school, I think. Um, and so I didn't even know that that was really a thing. But collages, that you're literally speaking to my heart because that's what I did. Because originally
I
we
love
did have colored folders. They were like, you need to have your colored folders, blah blah blah, with like a ridiculously small amount of paper. They were like, you only need 4 or 5 pieces of notebook paper, and I was like, what the fuck is this? But I would, sorry. The things that your brain just like holds on to, they're like, you only need 10 pieces of lined paper inside of your folder for the whole year.
yeah.
Like, what? Huh? Anyway, so, but
Like
then
I
they
don't remember
switched.
the back to school lists being as extensive as they are now. I just
No.
remember you get it one of those on
Yeah.
3 ring binder or whatever Trapper Keepers. You get
Yeah.
the paper that's
Yeah.
saran wrapped, You get your folders,
Pencils.
get your note cards, pencils.
Yeah.
The rich kids got the mechanical pencils.
Yeah, we only had Ticonderoga or whatever was on sale. And I remember
Yeah.
that my mom, like, bless her in that way, but like she had a Rubbermaid tote, like one of the blue ones, and it would have all of our school supplies. She would buy, because I mean, like, I have two sisters, so
Yeah.
we had a lot of school supplies, and we're only of like a year apart and then 2 years apart. So like we're all very close in age. So she would
Mhm.
have a tote full of supplies and we would just kind of like cycle through as we needed. And like um I would create I thought that they were like these works of art. And it makes me think of like that meme sound where it's like it's a work of art and it's like that super deep. This
It's a
is a
work
work of art.
of
Yeah,
art.
this is a work of art. Um, but I think about that all the time because I would spend hours and it would be
Mhm.
like stickers that I found or photos that I thought were really cool, pictures that I drew because I would like have weird like fever spells of like drawing random things.
Mhm.
Um, puffy stickers, or if we would go to the movies, like I remember there was one that had um what movie was it that came out? It wasn't Twilight because that came out later. Um, but like we would go to random movies or like go to the concerts. I remember I went to the Killers concert with my sister one year when it was at Key Arena before they
Oh,
closed it.
Karina.
Um, and I remember that I kept like the ticket stub or what was it? Oh, one year we went to Monster Jam,
Oh
like
my
the
God.
freaking monster trucks, and I kept it and I put it like on this piece of paper and I don't even know where I got these, but I had stickers that were like strawberry shortcake stickers and I had like strawberry shortcake stickers, this like random Monster Jam like ticket stub.
I love
Um
that so much.
and I would just cut and make these like overly like now I'm like they were just these overly aggressive collages to go in my math binder. And I'm
I
like,
I also had those that it was like aggressively millennial. You know what I mean? Like just like a Starbucks ad or like
yeah.
Juicy Couture, something I could never afford. Of
Yeah.
like
Oh
an
yeah, I would
ad.
just cut out random things that I would be like, Mom, I have to have this. And she's like,
Betsy
oh,
Johnson, like just
yeah.
things that like were so millennial. Paul Frank, like things that I could never afford, but I saw an
Yeah.
ad of, and I cut it out, and I would make it the front of my folder. And I know that we did some polls, which
Yes.
while we're here, subjects: science, math, history, English.
Okay.
What color is science?
Green.
Green. That is the correct answer. I think that that's the only correct answer. And I do have to say your husband chose blue and I think he's insane. He was the only person to
Boo.
not say green. How can
Boo.
science be any other folder color other than
Grass is
green?
green. Grass is
Yeah,
biology.
right.
Green. Green,
Makes
green, green.
sense. Okay, math. What color is math?
For me, it's red, I think. Or did I
See,
do red? Yeah. Or yeah. Yeah, red, I
it
thought.
was like between red and blue for math. So here we have 83% said blue
So weird.
was
I wouldn't know.
for math. And you know what they said for red was history.
No, not for me.
And then yellow was English.
No, if it were me, it would be green is for science,
Yeah.
red is for math,
Mm-hmm.
Blue is for English, and then whatever else, yellow is for history. But I don't even
Whatever
remember
the
having one for history.
miscellaneous one.
Yeah, miscellaneous. Because I don't
Yeah.
think that I didn't take traditional history
Mhm.
if I didn't have to. I always wanted to take like elective history classes. So I think I ended up doing like, what was it, modern world issues when I was in high school and some other history class.
I
But
did
I just,
I did a government class and it just made me hate our government.
oh, yeah, I got in a fight in, not like a physical fight, but
Wait,
I
is
got
it the
into like a
same
yelling
the
match.
same teacher?
I think so. Was it the lady teacher?
Yeah.
Yes. He told me that I was too pessimistic when it came to government, and I was like, no, I think that's
No.
just having an opinion. But I just remember that it was during the what was it? John Kerry and George
Oh,
Bush elections, and I was not not a fan of who ended up being president.
so I mean, I want to have an entire subject on like millennial
Mhm.
politics of like what
Yes,
were our
please.
perceptions of like politics because my parents were very Republican. So my brain
Yes.
was a little bit
Hmm.
that's kind of racist, that's kind of sexist, that's kind of whatever. But I remember I would always make fun of John Kerry. I don't know why. John Kerry was like the one I always made fun of. And that's insane because like George Bush was president for a majority of us being in
Hmm.
middle school and high school.
Yes.
And looking at things George W. Bush did in office is like, how did I not know this? Like,
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who it was that I got into I don't even want to say it was a fight. It was just like they were saying some ridiculous stuff about how like, and I don't want to get too crazy because I know this is our like first episode.
right.
But I just remember that like I was not a fan of his politics. And I made that very clear. I was like, I do not agree with George
Yeah.
W. And I was very
Same.
like clear and straight to the point. And I was like, there is no I mean, with most elections, everybody has their own issues or their own problems. But I was
Hmm.
like, I would much rather hear John Kerry's perspective than have to go through another 4 years of what we're going through. And it was just like, it was a mess. So the teacher ended up pulling me aside afterwards and she was like, you need to be more optimistic. You're definitely a glass half empty kind of person. And you're a little bit more pessimistic and should be more optimistic. And I was like, definitely not. And that has pretty much stuck with me my whole life. And I was like, I'm not pessimistic. I just know
You're
what I like. And I
yeah.
know my thoughts and feelings. And I'm not afraid to say them out loud.
I feel like I was only saying and doing like the things that my parents
Yes.
had said and done. So when I started learning in high school, like, oh, what my parents are saying, doing and saying and representing, that's so untrue. And then I kind of became a little bit too obsessed with learning about like politics and history and going, oh, all these guys are actually like really bad.
Really bad. Really bad. Really bad.
Yeah,
And that's
they've
that
been
happens.
doing really good things. But yes, millennial peak millennial school, a lot of it is like nostalgia of having binders. Things were not online.
Yes.
Like
No.
we had
Typing class.
oh my gosh, we had they don't do typing class anymore,
Yeah. We had
which is
typing. That was
crazy.
typing class. And I remember that I was really bad at typing because we did not have like computer access at home. And so everyone else would be like, clack, 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 like doing that like typing test
Yeah.
where it had like the picture up at the top and you had to like
Mm-hmm.
do the words per minute or types
Yeah.
per whatever it was. And I just remember that I just sucked at it. Like really bad, sucked at it. And I was like, I'm trying. But I sucked. I was just not. But typing, we had typing class. Everything was like you had to type stuff up to like hand a paper in.
Yeah.
Um,
We had specific computer days that
yeah,
you
we had to
typed your
carry around so many
paper up.
books.
Mm-hmm. And if you
So many
couldn't
books.
type up your paragraphs or whatever during that time period, you had to come in during recess, or you had to come in
Hmm.
during PE to finish doing your homework. And it's so crazy because now everyone has access to technology, which is fantastic. I love that technology is accessible.
Yes.
Uh, but sometimes I wish that more kids could relate to that because we were so
Yeah.
cut off. I mean, we had these if we wanted to like go on MySpace
Yeah.
in high school, which is so funny to think like we learned how to go through like firewall and we were coding things and we were all 15 years old.
Yeah. You had to have your top eight, friend. Your top eight, your top four.
Yeah.
I think it was top
First day
four
at
first, and
school,
then it was top
all
eight.
those quizzes that we would do, like
Hmm.
what is your celebrity destination wedding based on
Yeah.
these like 5 questions. It is nostalgia, and I miss those kinds of things.
You know what I
Um,
miss the most about early social media
mhm.
things is the games.
The games, like
We
the
could
flash
have
games.
no, like the games that you would play like in early, so I don't think that MySpace necessarily had it, but the early days of Facebook, like Farmville,
Farmville.
Mafia Wars. Well, I
Oh
think it
my
was Vampire
god.
Wars, and they were games that made no sense. We could, okay,
Yeah.
that's gonna be an episode we're gonna have to do is talk about games, computer games in how, yeah, we're gonna have to do a computer games
All right.
episode. It is
Well,
on the docket, but
wherever there is a comment section, if you have relatable stories, you have relatable
yes,
content, anything that we missed in our back to school nostalgia walk down memory lane, leave it down in the comments because we'd love to
yes,
hear
please.
what you have. But we have some Reddit stories
Ooh,
that
yes.
I wanted to read a couple Reddit stories so that we could laugh, kiki, and finish out the episode. What do you say?
I say yes, please.
Right. So, first one is I faked playing my instrument in school band all throughout middle school. No, did you play an instrument? You were in choir. So,
No, I wasn't in
no,
choir.
you weren't in
Well, this
choir.
voice is not built for singing
Listen,
publicly.
you didn't even have to sing to be in choir.
No, I was in band.
Band.
My sister is only 15 months older than me, and she wanted to play clarinet so bad that my parents went to the what was it? Ted Music store and bought a clarinet. She played
Stop.
it for one season, and then they were like, "You get to play the clarinet." So I played clarinet, I think in junior high, and then I was like, "Absolutely not. I am not a band girly. I am a drill team kind of girl." So I did not. I was not in choir, and I was just not good at playing the clarinet. So
I just think
continue.
it's so funny that they made us go, okay, band or choir. Band or choir.
Yeah,
There
band
was
or
no
choir.
there was no secondary
Mm-mm.
option. But I was a choir. I was a choir girly.
Yeah, I wanted
Um,
to be a choir girly, but uh I was not performative in that way.
well, all right, let's jump right into this story. All
Yes,
right,
I want to
in
hear.
middle school, my mom forced me to join the school band. I never had any music lessons or played an instrument before that. So I felt really dumb because all the other kids took lessons and knew how to play their instruments. I didn't know how this happened, but somehow I was able to join and ended up being the only French horn player. I faked playing
No.
it the entire time. I would literally just put my mouth on it and click random buttons without actually blowing any air out. And the funniest part is when we went to state band competitions, the judges gave me a shout out again for a lively and skilled performance. So either I was super convincing or all of those judges were full of shit too. After the competition, my teacher and classmates praised me for getting a shout out. And even though I thought I was a great French horn player, thank God I never had to do a solo because there's no way I could have pulled that off. Oh
I
my
think I love that so
gosh.
much. Because I can totally relate to that in a completely random story. But I mean, like, the comments are way too funny. And it was like, I did the same thing in middle school.
Yeah.
Only one other saxophone player ever found out, and I never played during concerts or practices. And it's like, that's so amazing. But I mean, kudos to that person for just
Yeah.
succeeding. Because I mean, like, I played the clarinet, and that was not super hard to play.
Right.
Um, but like, if I'm remembering correctly, like a French horn is not easy.
It's
Like
not easy.
any brass instrument, like you have to just like have a lot of wind capacity to
Yeah.
be able to blow and make it actually like sound decent. Um, I remember that there was a girl that lived in my neighborhood and she played the flute, and I was always jealous because I was like, the flute is so cool. And I was like, I have to play the clarinet.
I thought the flute was so cool too. But
So,
see, I play piano and I didn't learn how to play any of those instruments, but I always thought a saxophone was sexy.
oh, yeah.
I wanted to play saxophone so bad, but I did choir. All right. Are you ready for our next story?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
All right. I don't know what TIFU means. What is
Um,
Oh,
I don't know.
today I fucked up. Sorry.
Oh, okay,
Um
okay, okay. Yeah, I know what that was. I was
uh,
like, should I Google it?
TIFU by holding a grudge for 29 years against a kid at school who called me Carrot Boy. Do you still have any school grudges?
You know, yeah, but not any that I think about. Not really that I think about much. If like, I, I think I
I
hold more
certainly have
grudges.
grudges. I do. I'm not above
I think
it.
you could answer this better than me. I think I do necessarily, and not for anything other than I I was always really jealous. I don't want to say like jealous, but I was always trying really hard to be like a certain friend, like a certain person's friend that like we had gone to school with. And
Mhm.
like, and I know that it's silly because we're all, in our mid 30s at this point. And so I would always get so mad because I was like, she would just, she always was more popular than me. And I was like,
Mhm.
why? Why are you more
What do you have to
popular? What do
offer?
you have? Like, yeah. And so that would always be like my like little bit of jealousy. But even now, like it's not something that I even think about. But if I were to see that person again, I'd be like, why were you so popular? And I struggled so hard.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
but
I have
yeah.
a grudge because this specific person was so popular, but they put a fish in my locker. Like
Oh, fuck
go
that. Rude.
go to the deli and ask for a salmon, whatever, tilapia. I don't know what they put in there. And they
Rude.
locked my locker with a lock
Mm-mm.
that wasn't mine. And then the entire hallway smelled like fish for three days. And then they were
That
like,
was such a terrible day.
yeah. And everyone was like, it smells like fish, and they're making like vagina jokes and all the things. And I just remember being like, it's my locker. I know it's my locker. Mm-hmm. And they isolated where it was. And I remember that they like took out those entire lockers for the rest of the school year. And they were like, you have to go on the other side, like by the portables or whatever to get your lockers. And it's like, I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Why am I being punished for this? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
But all right.
That's
well,
crazy. Okay.
This story. The names, including my own, have been modified to false names. Okay. About 29 years ago, I was in the 3rd grade. I took one of the carrot packs out of my lunchbox, and the kind that came with a little cup of ranch dressing. All of a sudden, this kid, Balthazar, said, "Hey, look, Tim is a carrot boy." Everyone at the lunch table started to laugh. I couldn't believe it. For some reason, that incident really stuck with me. Nobody really brought it up again, but I became very self-conscious in elementary school for eating carrots. Later, I lost the self-consciousness, but all through school and into adulthood, I always thought about that, and it built up in my head as the big disrespectful insult to me. Whenever I eat carrots, the memory pops up, basically involuntarily. Whenever I see carrots, I remember Balthazar going, "Hey everyone, look, Tim is a carrot boy," and hear laughter. What you should know is that I'm from a small town, and although I left, a lot of kids I knew are still there, which sounds like us. I saw that over the holidays, there was an impromptu high school reunion event scheduled. I decided to show up. I haven't seen these people regularly in a long time. Well, who should be there but Balthazar? Why did they choose that name? It's so hard to say. All of a sudden, the old anger welled up in me. I don't know what I was thinking. It seems so ridiculous now. But I saw a big tray of carrots meant for everyone at the buffet table, and I picked up the entire tray and carried it to Bathy's table. I started eating carrots angrily. Everyone at the table and surrounding tables were staring at me. I said, "Guess I'm still a carrot boy, huh?" I almost immediately realized my fuck up when everyone looked at me like I was insane and had no idea what I was referencing. So I awkwardly asked Baltio, they changed the name, and the other people around Baltho, if they remembered him calling me a carrot boy in 3rd grade, and nobody did. So I was like, that did happen. You really did call me carrot boy. And he was like, okay, sorry, man. Somebody next to me put their hand on my arm and whispered, "Are you okay?" As if I was having a mental breakdown or something. I was so embarrassed that I got up and left. Multiple people have texted me asking if I'm all right and why did I do that? And did I really hold a grudge for something so
innocuous?
That's that word?
Innocuous.
Silly remark that a 3rd grader made almost 30 years ago. When it was put to me like that, I realized maybe I was the one being weird. Balthazar wasn't like a bully or something. Aside from the one insult, he never did anything else to me in high school. Was kind of known as being a do-gooder. I had built it up as this major incident, but nobody even remembered it. I was horrified to find that several people from the reunion unfriended me on Facebook, and I saw a photo from the event and someone tagged me in the background as Carrot Boy. And none other than Balthazar responded to the post asking the poster to remove the tag. Oh, even though several people have replied with the laugh emoji. Now I feel like I made a huge fool of myself and can never show myself in town again. Well, maybe that's okay. I don't like the town anyways. But I am so embarrassed I can hardly sleep, and it's been a few weeks since the incident. Oh God. Oh my God. Too long didn't read. In 3rd grade, this kid called me Carrot Boy, and I have a grudge about it ever since, and I made a fool of myself at a reunion.
Okay. One, how brave, even though that was a little bit silly and a little bit dramatic, how brave of that guy to be like, look, I'm going to eat all these carrots in front of you. Now who's the carrot boy? You know, like, I think that that's actually really funny. Um, but that does, okay. So I do, in a way, have a grudge, but not in a way that, like, it bothers me to this day, but it's something that I think about periodically as
Yeah.
like why would you fucking do that to a kid? And I when I was in 6th grade, the elementary school that we had ended up splitting the classrooms into two. So
Mm-hmm.
because obviously like enrollment was high, so we had um two 6th grade classes where they primarily had only had one in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher that I got for my 6th grade teacher, she was larger. She was a larger lady on
Okay.
um and I just remember that a lot of like the kids in our class would make jokes about her
Okay.
because she was a bigger lady. And one of the most common things that they would say to her is poke pop.
Poke
Yeah,
pock?
poke pop. Like poke pop. They're going to poke her and she's going to pop. Poke pop.
Oh my
So
God.
our 6th grade was really cliquey.
Yeah.
So there were three three kids that were in my three kids in my 6th grade class that were very close friends, and it was one girl and two boys, and they were like
Mm-hmm.
besties. To this day, I've no hate towards them at all, like whatever. Everyone was kind of a shit kid at one point or another.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, as things happen, there was a period of time where they like it would like cycle through the class. Like, who are they going to make fun of this week? And of course, 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it was me. Because I was
Oh.
always like a bigger kid, like whatever. I
Yeah.
got called to the office because I wore a tank top and it was inappropriate because I had a chest. Like,
No.
I was like the bigger kid, so like whatever. Anyways, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember that one year they are like during this time where they were teasing me, they would be like, "Oh, Natalie," they would be like, "Oh, Natalie's coming, poke pop, poke pop," and I was just like, "Oh, so they were calling me fat." Like, cool, oh, cool, like, oh, cool, friend. But I remember that like for the longest time, I I hated them. Like, and I am not one to
Yeah.
like hate people. I just don't have the I just don't care that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't have that much space in my brain. And so I just remember that like 12-year-old Natalie was like, I hate you. I hate you. Because like why would you
No.
say that to a kid who obviously struggled with like her own body issues, and then to be like,
Yeah.
ha ha ha, you're fat, like poke pop, like we're gonna poke you, and they would like come up behind me and do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyways, so that I held a grudge for that for a long time, and I think about that from, like as an adult, like it's not something that I hold on to, but for a really long time I had a grudge like that. Not to an extent where I would walk up to them at like our reunion and be like, ha ha ha, who's fat now?
Who's that?
Like
Ah!
who's fat now? Joke's on them. It's still
Oh my
me.
God.
Like, I'm
That would
kidding. But
be
anyways, it was just
hilarious.
like whatever. Like it's so crazy. But I don't think that for me, like I don't know. I guess I just don't ever think that I would say something so hurtful or cruel to somebody.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you're a good person.
well, I mean, thank you, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I also think
No,
that you're a
you
good
are a
person
good
too.
person.
But no, I think that I just generally wanted to be friends with people. Like
Yeah.
I just wanted to be friends. Like
Hmm.
I don't have like a FOMO personality, but like I definitely want to be included because I want to know. I just want to know all the tea. Like I want to know
Yeah.
everything. I want to know all the details. Even if I act on them or not, like I just want to know the details. So like yeah, but anyways, that was my like little grudge because I definitely held that for a while, but now I'm
I
like
mean,
whatever.
I think we could go on for days about things that people
Oh,
have said
sure.
that still radiate in our brain. And
Oh,
maybe we could talk about
totally.
that on another episode. But I mean, definitely very much can relate to Carrot Boy here, but it's
Oh,
also
sure.
the self restraint that I would
Yeah.
have of like, because one of my bullies is a pastor.
Ah!
Like, imagine if I went to that church and I was like, "Hey, guy, remember when you told me this ride at Viking Fest only holds 2 tons? Guess it can't go on." Like, that hits my brain anytime that I am near like an amusement park or
Oh
anything like that. That
yeah.
I'm like, I just think of that this right, like, and I think we all do, of like things our
Yeah.
parents have said, like things classmates have said, teachers have said,
Hmm.
where like nobody else would ever say that to you now, but it's the thing of it still hurts as time goes on. But with that said, this has been our first episode, our back
Yeah.
to school episode. If any of these stories, any of our memories, mentions of things, polls speaks to you, let us know in the comments down below.
Yes,
Go
please.
find us on Instagram, Peak Millennials with an S pod. You'll find so many cute remembrance. I posted something that was like a Gap ad. I didn't shop at the Gap until high
Ah,
school, but I
yeah.
loved those ads. Super nostalgia. Go watch that when you have a chance. Tell me what your favorite ads
Yeah.
were, what your favorite
Yes,
collages
please.
were, and we'll post some of them on this week's story because we want to see what you're looking at this week. But Natalie,
Yes. Yes,
uh,
ma'am.
where could people find you? Sorry, I forgot
Um,
what to say.
to be very honest, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. Um, yeah, I'm on all socials, but Instagram and TikTok are the two that I use the most. Um, and it's just Natalie Christina, like Instagram and TikTok. I post a lot of gardening content. Um,
Actual gardening.
and actual gardening content. I am in my gardening era, and I am an avid K-pop stan. So there's a lot of K-pop content and a lot of gardening content. Sometimes I wish I did the other type of gardening, but I
That's the kind
don't.
of content you'll see me doing. But
Sometimes, but most of the time it's just actual garden harvest and
sometimes I've
K-pop.
got I've
What
got
about you? What about you?
well, you can find me anywhere there's social media _ queer auntie on all social media. I'm TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Don't find me on Facebook because then you'll find my peak millennial pictures because that's really what's on there.
Yeah,
I'm over on Blue Sky, Queer Auntie. Just find me wherever there's a social media. Let's chat. And thank you
yeah.
so much. That's
Thank
a wrap on
you.
episode 1.
I'm so excited Bleh. I can't talk. Good God. I'm so excited to yap with you again soon. So we will.
I'm so
I'm so
excited.
excited. This has been so fun.
But prosperity and nostalgia
Always.
always.
What
Well,
was it? What did they used to say? Peace, love, and chicken grease.
peace, love, and chicken grace.
Peace, love, and chicken
Bye.
grease. Bye, y'all.